you want to buy a pirate ship, Jack?
I'm not in the market for one at the moment, Tom. Are you selling by any chance?
Well, V McMahon 69 on eBay was selling this, and I thought it might be quite a nice little investment, and I bought it, and I realised that I haven't got a massive river to put it on. So if anybody's in the market for this pirate ship that I've bought, then by all means get involved. Are you sure we can't? Do you know anybody that might want one?
Not off the top of my head, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I do, yeah.
You let me know that, and we'll let you know some wrestling news. Original plans for WrestleMania 37's main event have been revealed. An AEW star has been snubbed by WWE, and we have a major debut on next week's NXT. We'll talk about it in a bit. Just a nice excuse to talk about that phenomenal main event from WrestleMania 37. Again, this, Jack, wasn't it brilliant?
It was. Both main events were spectacular, but we are talking about the second one, the Universal Championship Triple Threat. Tom, there's been slightly conflicting reports, maybe not head-on conflicting, but kind of like, if that makes sense.
Let us explain what we've found from multiple sources. So, Fightful say that WrestleMania Night 2's main event featured an awful lot of story, as is the case with most Roman Reigns-related creative. Paul Heyman was instrumental in orchestrating this. Paul Heyman's organised a lot of Roman Reigns' matches since the two got put together. So it was a production of Paul Heyman and Michael Hayes, this match, out of interest. Beyond that, we were informed, according to Fightful, that Roman Reigns was going to go over in the main event since the early start of this angle. However, it looked as if WWE were going to get cold feet on that. According to WrestlingNews.co, over the weekend, Vince McMahon's idea was to close out WrestleMania to send the fans home happy. And last week, there was talk in the company of changing this long-term plan to have Roman Reigns win and actually have Edge beat Daniel Bryan and become the Universal Champion, setting up a match between Edge and Roman Reigns for either WrestleMania Backlash or even SummerSlam, so maybe giving Edge a longer reign. So whilst Roman Reigns was always figured to be the man that would leave WrestleMania as the belt, the company, according to reports, very nearly got cold feet on the matter, and it was very highly discussed that it could be swapped out to have Edge win. Do you think this match would have lost any of that energy had we had Edge winning the championship at the end, Jack?
I'm sure it would have been a more explosive and exciting ending, but I'm not sure if that would have been the right thing, if that makes sense. I thought it was a very bold booking decision to have Roman win at the end of night 2, but I thought it was that doesn't necessarily mean it was the incorrect one. I think as long as, this is the caveat, as long as it all leads to somebody like Cesaro or whoever being built up and taking the belt from him clean, then it'll all be worth it. And I think that if they do that, then this could be a very crucial step. The problem is, will that happen?
The original plans for this match, you will be surprised to know, or not surprised to know, was going to be simply Roman Reigns versus Edge one-on-one. That was the original plan for this. However, it was changed at the week of Fastlane. That was when the decision was made to put Daniel Bryan into the match. They were having other ideas for Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania, but it was just in that week where they went, hey, here's an idea. Why don't we mix it up this way and keep people guessing up till WrestleMania? So we were going to see Roman and Edge one-on-one. I think we got the better deal. I think adding Daniel Bryan to that match added so many extra layers to that match. But I still like the idea, Jack, of us seeing Edge and Roman Reigns one-on-one at some point down the line.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of that, but I suppose that does make sense. And there was all the talk, wasn't there, of from Adam Pearce on Twitter and Charles Robinson replying and the back and forth about, did Edge not pin Bryan, or were his shoulders down as well? So they've left that open, definitely. It could be very interesting.
Something that we'll discuss on SmackDown this week, which I'm intrigued by. But yeah, it could have potentially been not only just Edge and Roman Reigns, but Edge winning the championship on the anniversary of him losing the championship around WrestleMania time. That's right, isn't it? That's the thing they've touted.
I think it was the anniversary of when he had to retire. Yes.
It was also the anniversary this week of Barely Legal 1997, ECW's first steps into the world of pay-per-view. WWE put out a tweet to mark it, saying 24 years ago today, ECW made it to the dance, holding its first pay-per-view in the company history, Barely Legal. The sports entertainment landscape would never be the same. And this tweet tags Paul Heyman, Rob Van Dam, Lance Storm, Bully Ray, and Tommy Dreamer. One person who was missed off of that tweet has talked about it, and that was Taz. What's Taz got to say about it all, Jack?
Well, Taz quote retweeted this original tweet and said, "If you're going to do the typical rewrite history in WWE eyes and not acknowledge or tag me, a main event of the show, then edit me out of the video clip. You don't need to advertise me for your subscription model." Ooh.
Do we see that as a little jibe at the Jericho appearance on Broken Skull Sessions?
Oh, I saw it more as a jibe at the Peacock scrubbing the history of the network with particular angles and segments here and there, but it could well be as well, yeah.
I think maybe both. The whole thing about edit me out of the video is a reference to Peacock scrubbing stuff. Advertising me for your subscription model, I can't help but feel like that's them going, hey, Chris Jericho's on Broken Skull Sessions. I imagine a few people will be referencing that with tongue firmly planted in cheek on Dynamite this week. I imagine they will do. Yeah, so Taz getting his nose bent out of shape a little bit about not getting the nod for Barely Legal. If you do go watch that pay-per-view, seek out Paul Heyman's speech beforehand. In fact, I've put it on the news podcast this morning because that the ultimate rah-rah speech from Paul Heyman the night before Barely Legal. Do you know the speech I'm talking about, Jack?
Oh, 100%. In fact, Tom, we mentioned that speech on my episode of Desert Island Graps, which you can also find on the feed. Yeah, absolutely.
It's on the YouTube channel as well. That's one of the rare...
Oh, yeah, that one's on
Look at us throwing the plugs everywhere. New Desert Island Graps today with Tyson Dukes.
Nice.
Formerly of the Cruiserweight Classic and Canadian Wrestling Journeyman. Talks about his time in the Hart Family Dungeon. There you go. There's enough plugs for now. Vince McMahon in the news today. Hey, how often is it, Jack, that we get to say that Vince McMahon is done with certain talent? That happens quite a bit, doesn't it?
It's fairly frequent, but when you reveal the names here, then I suspect people's reaction is going to be, what? What have they done wrong? Because that was mine when I read it.
Brian Alvarez explaining on Wrestling Observer Radio that Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are now considered by Vince McMahon so low on the totem pole that he is pretty much done with them. And that is devastating news because Cedi and Shelton have formed this really nice team together. This sort of they couldn't get along to start with, and they started clicking. Then they got booted out of the Hurt Business. And this past week on Raw, whilst they had offense in the match against the Viking Raiders, they were given the already in the ring treatment, the AITR treatment, which is always a death knell for wrestlers, I find. And I'm just sad if this is the case, because in a company where the tag divisions are so lacking, why bury like a really talented tag team?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of this story rides on whether Alvarez is repeating something that he's heard or whether he's just giving his opinion. Because if he's just giving his opinion, then he might just be echoing what we've all been saying. Like, why are they like basically saying it in an outraged way? Why are they so done? Vince doesn't want anything to do with these guys. But if it's news that's come to him from someone in the company, then that's very worrying as well. And I think very unjustified because, yeah, as you say, they're a very talented tag team and they were a part of the Hurt Business, and the Hurt Business were one of the best things about Monday Night Raw all throughout the build to WrestleMania and for a lot of last year as well. And I just don't really see the reason for it if that's the case.
It seems so unlike Vince McMahon and WWE to throw away a surefire thing and give them reason to be unhappy. Where's Andrade's first post-WWE appearance, Jack?
He'll be appearing at the Wrestling Guy store in Huntington Park, California on Sunday, May the 2nd. Tickets are now on sale via the WrestlingGuyStore.com. It's an $8 package. It includes 2 autographs, 1 professional photo op with a printout and priority entrance, but only 60 are being sold. There's also other options. There's a $40 ticket that comes with an autograph. There's a $30 ticket where you get to use your camera and take a photo, and the $60 combo ticket, which is 1 autographed item and 1 photo op as well. So various different options there. Looks like Andrade is dipping his toes back into the water. He's not waited too long before making an appearance, and I suspect he could be getting involved with wrestling in a more wrestling capacity in the near future. Couldn't think of a good way of saying that.
No, La Sombra back in a wrestling ring before the end of the year. Before the summer, I reckon. We'll see La Sombra somewhere. Very, very happy for that. Very happy for that. Talking of getting back into the ring, a major star is making their NXT debut. It's years in the making. It's happening next week. Who are we talking about, Jack?
We're talking about Sarai, or formerly known as Sari in Japan. She is a star, a young star. She's only 24, I believe, of the Joshi scene in Japan. Very, very talented indeed. And yes, as you mentioned, it was quite a long time in the making. She signed, I believe, at the start of 2020, just before the travel ban and everything meant that they had to put it on hold. But now it looks like she's going to be getting involved. We did see her, of course, at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 2, I want to say. We saw her on one of the nights in the crowd with Stephanie McMahon. No, it would probably have been on Night 1, wouldn't it? Before Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai. I'm going to guess that's when it was. Yeah.
Well, I think it was just before the main event of Night 1 we saw her. And so much hype around this. This is a signing that is years in the making. She signed to start last year, but then the world caught fire.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
she was unable to travel. But now we're in a position where we're about to see her. And you know what? This could be the start of something really special for NXT. We had lots of stuff around the women's division on NXT last night, including a first-time appearance for one person and a homecoming for two others. And if you want to find out what that's about, NXT Graded, the last NXT Graded, on the Cultaholic YouTube channel a little later on today. It's a Tuesday now. That threw me slightly.
Yes, absolutely. Tom,
we're all over the shop, aren't we?
Not to spoil anything that you may talk about in Graded this week, but I saw a few people mentioning in our work chat that MSK got booed last night. A few boos.
There was a little bit. Now, to be fair, I'll give you this. They were in there against Drake Maverick and Killian Dane, who are sort of on that bubble of being, whilst they're not getting pushed, they're very, very liked.
Yeah.
So I think, and also some of the stuff they were doing in that match, it opened it up for them being booed, to be fair.
They were playing the heel role because they were against a more babyface team, I'm guessing.
I think anybody punching Drake Maverick is going to be the heel in that situation. I genuinely believe if Mickey Mouse gave Drake Maverick a blue thunder bomb, I think he'd be booed out of the building. Even if it was in a Disney-based place, that would definitely happen. Anyway, we'll talk about it on Graded later on today. Are you on Twitch tonight?
Yes, myself and Owen will be on Twitch tonight at 6 p.m. and we'll be doing football. I nearly forgot, I'm so frazzled. At 6 p.m. and we'll be doing Football Manager, continuing our journey with Cultaholic FC, who are doing quite well, actually. We're top of the league, and there's a bit of a comfortable barrier as well to second place. I can't believe it.
Nice. Okay. Well, good luck tonight.
And if you watch Night 1 of WrestleMania Reactions, and Night 2 will be coming out very shortly, you'll see our goalkeeper make an appearance behind me and Owen just in the background. He wasn't going to miss the big show.
He missed the big show because he's in AEW.
Curses.
Love
Rats.
you. Love you. Bye.